right, so our watercolor here is completely dry, so we are going to add the texture paste on the snowman. So I have a really tiny stencil brush here that I'm just using to help put it down there. It does get a bit finicky getting used to putting down stencil paste or texture paste with a stencil brush. My paste is a little bit on the dry side right now, so it's not wanting to stick to the paper as much. But if you twist your brush, it will stick down. And then I'm also using a stencil motion because I want to have some snowy texture to the paste. Get it down off of the brush and then you can kind of spread it around your snowman. And if you happen to have texture paste, like I'm using Ranger texture paste, that goes a little bit hard, you can use for Ranger. I don't know whether it works for other texture paste, but I know it works for the Ranger one. You can use the Ranger Distress Spray and you can spray it on the texture paste and it will rehydrate it. So just a little tip, if you have some that has gone hard, and I've had a jar that's gone nearly completely hard and I was able to get it back just by using the Distress Spray. So just a little tip if you happen to have some that's not so great anymore, just try to get it back with some distress refresher. All right, so that's good. I'm going to take a toothpick and I am going to use it to clear off the spots that I'm going to do the black dots for the stones or the rocks, the little buttons. Make sure you put your lid back on your distress paste. I'm going to add some rock candy glitter on top of this, just because I want it to have the texture, but I also want it to have some sparkle to it. The excess of the glitter in your back in your container here. And then I'm going to use some enamel accents, and I notice that I'm putting an extra rock on this one that I didn't put on the sample, but that's okay. And it's likely not going to be a perfect circle because of the texture paste around it, but that's okay. I kind of wanted that. I wanted it to kind of be uneven like a rock. Got a little tiny bit over there, but because this is all still wet, it's easy enough to pick it up from there. All right, so I am going to let this dry completely and then I will finish assembling my card. So I'll see you in your time in a few seconds. All right, so our snowman is dry, but I made an error and I have to tell you about it. So I had the texture paste on there with the glitter wet and then added the black enamel accents, and it all ran into each other. So learn from my mistake. Wait until that's all dry and then put the black enamel accents and let that dry on its own, so that doesn't happen to you. But I can still show you how to complete the rest of the card with this. I'll end up redoing this and making a new image for my card. So you're going to take the Gathered Twigs ink. You're going to lightly ink the edges of your card here, or edges of your image piece. There we go. Just gives it a little bit of shading, a little bit of dimension. I've got my cream card base. I'm going to put my green matte on there, and I'm not going to glue it right now just because I'm going to redo this. But what you would do is glue the green matte to the card base and then glue your image piece on there. And look at this one instead. And then after that, taking just the gold jelly pan. I'm just adding a little bit of gold in with the green Perfect Pearl accents. I just found it looked a little bit plain on its own, and I kind of thought that the gold made it pop a little bit more. There we go. You can see a little bit more on that card there. So now the snowman card is done. I will see you for the next card. We're going to do a holly, and we're going to do a faux watercolor technique. So we're not actually going to be using a brush. We're going to be doing a little bit different. We'll see you then.